Tired of mixed signals as miscommunication? Well, you've come to the right place, because today we'll talk about the power of direct communication and why it's the most important tool for you to get the respect that you crave. And remember, respect comes from your ability to directly communicate your boundaries, your wants, and your needs. My name is Alice, and I'm a communications coach and an online educator, and I love talking about communication. So what exactly is direct communication? It is your ability to communicate in a clear and concise way so that person hears what you just said and responds in a way that is respectful and direct. The worst thing is that when you're communicating and that person does not hear you, does not respect what you just said, and more importantly, doesn't do anything with the information that you just shared. Someone ignoring you. Who wants that? Indirect communication is not being clear on what that person wants or needs. And indirect communication is also fluff. So when you ask someone, what do you want for dinner? And they tell you whatever you want, that's indirect communication. Or if they don't respond at all, that's another matter. But if you ask, what would you like for dinner? And that person responds, I would like some meat and pasta, that's direct communication. They tell you exactly what they want. At work, this comes up a lot. When your boss, of course, tells you, please complete this assignment by Friday, that's great. If that person doesn't tell you what they need and when that should be completed, that's a problem because you don't know what to do. Direct communication is also saying what you mean and doing what you mean. So if I say, I will deliver this by 5 p.m., I will deliver this by 5 p.m. I'm being very clear and concise on my action. Direct communication is communicating an action. So try it out. The next time you're talking to your boss and even your spouse, try and communicating in a very direct way. And I know it's very hard because here's the thing. We fear rejection. We fear that person will say no. It's okay if they say no, you ask why not. Please help me understand. Another important aspect here of direct communication is that it saves you any heartache down the line. It really decreases tension. So I just had a recent example with my boyfriend, and I said, can you please make dinner tonight? And his response was, sure. And then I asked again, I confirmed, you're making dinner tonight. His response was, but I like it when you make dinner. And I asked why. And he directly told me, because you cook better than the chef. He was very clear that the responsibility of cooking should be on me because I love it and I'm better at it. But I know in fact that if I needed him to cook dinner because I'm working, and I said, please, because I'm working, I need you to cook dinner, or can you please cook dinner? He will do it. With clients, it's the same thing. I understand that you want me to do this job. This job will require me 2 weeks to do it, and it will cost this. This is the scope, or we say project scope. For this amount of time, I will charge X, or for this project, I charge this. And you give a reason, because it takes X amount of hours and my rate is this. Or because this is a rush delivery, because I'm prioritizing your project, I have to charge this rate because I have expenses. So you always communicate. You could justify your rate and why you have a certain fee structure, but you want to be as clear and concise as possible. One of my business partners right now, we're negotiating a percentage split. So I have to think about what is it that he wants, what is it that I want, what can I give up, and what is important to me. So right now I'm preparing to have that conversation, and I have to be very clear and concise. So let's continue. You might be thinking, well, why is direct communication so important? It builds trust. When you have trust in someone, you are more motivated to be around that person. You're more motivated to get to know them. We don't get to know someone if we don't trust them. Also, when we have direct communication, we don't have to second guess. We don't have to think about what is it that person is thinking or feeling. We ask and they tell us. And what happens if they're not direct? So in my experience, when somebody's not direct with me, I start getting nervous. I'm like, are you trying to hide something? I start digging why. And a lot of the times people don't know. They don't know the answer, so they don't want to communicate the answer. Sometimes they just don't know how to communicate. A lot of the times I thought that everybody knows how to communicate, but it's actually not the case. Not everybody knows how to communicate. And if they don't know how to communicate, how could they possibly express what it is that they need and want at that moment? Why I'm a big fan of direct communication is also it saves a lot of time, and especially in working with clients and being in a relationship, when you communicate, ask yourself, why did I say what I just said? And a lot of the times we say things that we don't absolutely mean because we're afraid or we're too excited to think or we're not thinking at all. And then it becomes a pattern of behavior where we're communicating in a way that makes absolutely no sense. A lot of the times my boyfriend kept saying jokes, and that was like what he always did. And I said, is this effective communication? Tell me directly, well, why are we joking in the first place? And it's just, we don't learn how to communicate. When you are going to engage someone in a direct communication, here are two things you gotta do. Number one, know what you want to say ahead of time. Understand the message you want to convey. Because direct communication requires a lot of thinking and it requires a lot of strategy. Be honest and also use simple language. In direct communication, you want to build trust as quickly as possible. You have to use language that the other person understands. Keep it simple, stupid, as they say. Always be respectful. If you're communicating and that person doesn't hear you, what's the point? Do you ask yourself, why am I communicating? Or you just keep going because you just want to talk? I did this a lot of the times. So please leave a comment below with one thing you took away from today. I would love to hear it. In the next episode, we're going to talk about value proposition and how to find it. How do we find something that is of value? And that's important, not just in business, but in our personal life. So stay tuned and thanks for watching. And as always, do the best that you can every day.